And this guy is great. We had a lot of fun with him. And please welcome Ed Mace. Come on in here. Ed Mace. Ed Mace. He's a little disoriented coming along. There we go. Ed Mace. Take your time. Here we are. All right.
Hi, I'm Ed Mace. Well, Mace is actually a nickname given to me by the women in the neighborhood. And what's up with these comfort animals? It seems like everybody has a comfort animal these days. In fact, just the other day, my neighbor Jim was walking his comfort dog in front of my house. So I went outside and I said to him, Jim, not you, a comfort dog? He says, that's not a comfort dog, you idiot. That's my grandson. So I'm on a flight from Austin, Texas, and the woman next to me pulls out this huge comfort cat from her carry-on bag. So I immediately ring the flight attendant, and I said, listen, I'm allergic to cats. She said, well, you're going to have to move. I said, I'm going to have to move? I was irate. I said, why don't you move her and a cat? So she did. Right up to first class. As a teenager, I always dreamed of becoming a police officer. So naturally, my first job was at Dunkin' Donuts. When I was drafted into the Army, they asked me what I did in civilian life. So I told them I worked at Dunkin' Donuts. They said, that's perfect. You're now a military policeman. When I was discharged from the Army, I did get that dream job and became a police officer right around here in Rockville Center. Now, I used to hang out with a lot of city cops, and they would brag that they were on a big job, and they wondered, what did we do in Rockville Center while they were chasing around all the violent felons and murderers in New York City? Well, I told them. I said they didn't know anything about crime until they had to catch somebody putting their garbage cans out before dusk. They would also ask me if I ever pulled my gun. What a stupid question. Of course I pulled my gun. 3 times. Twice to clean it, and once when my partner was taking the last jelly donut. One of the things that happened in Rockville Center occasionally was that the eastbound train from Penn Station would pull into our stop, and the conductor would push the drunk off the train onto the platform as the doors were closing. Well, you know what we did? We pushed that same drunk right back on the westbound train heading back to Penn Station. Well, one night this went on for hours. On the train, off the train, on the train, off the train. Finally, the drunk said, enough. This is my stop. I live here. And I'd like to go home. So I said, oh, so sorry. Can I give you a ride, Commissioner? One time I was driving on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and I got pulled over by a Pennsylvania state trooper. I showed him my identification, my shield, driver's license, and said, hey, I'm on the job in Rockville Center. He said, Rockville Center? You're from Rockville Center? I'm from Rockville Center too. And I've spent my whole career waiting to pull over a Rockville Center cop. So he walked back to his car, and I could see him writing something. He came back and handed me a ticket and said, this is payback for you breaking my balls for putting my garbage cans out before dusk. One night, I actually fell asleep in my squad car. The sergeant caught me and crept up to my window, but I didn't panic. I kept my eyes closed, folded my hands, bowed my head, and said, Heavenly Father, please bless the sergeant and his lovely family. Amen. I also ref ice hockey. And one night I was reffing a men's league game, and a player took a shot, and it hit me right in the groin. So I went down in a heap, and while I was writhing in pain, the player came up to me and said, Geez, ref, I'm sorry, but why aren't you wearing a cup? So I looked up at him from the ice and said, Listen, I'm married 30 years. Why should I protect something that I don't use anymore? What I really love is reffing the kids. Except for one thing, the parents. Now, I served a year in Vietnam, but I didn't know what real danger was until I reffed a kids' game. After one game, this grandmother came up to me and said, How can you look at yourself in the mirror after the way you called that game? And just as she was ready to kick me, the thought went through my head, good thing I remembered to wear the cup tonight. One night I was babysitting my infant granddaughter, and since I hadn't changed the diaper in over 30 years, I was a little nervous. So the inevitable happened, and I did have to change that diaper, and I thought all went well until my daughter came home, took the baby in the back room to change it for the ride, and said, Dad, I think I found your glasses. Thank you, that's my time. Thank you.
Ed Mace! He did that on purpose. That was Ed Mace. So funny. Wear a cup. That's what we learned.